Fashion Studies and Merchandising DFM 001 paper first. Now we will study the fashion cycle. What is fashion cycle and what are the stages? Now what is fashion cycle? A period of time or lifespan during which the fashion exists, moving through the 5 stages from introduction through obsolescence. When a customer purchases and wears a certain style, that style is considered accepted. The accepted leads to the style becoming a fashion. Fashion do not always survive from years to years. Now, the stages of fashion cycle. Fashion moves through different stages during its cycle of existence. Not only design, but special features also go through a cycle such as color, texture and fabric. First stage is introduction stage. The design first previewed during fashion weeks at the major design centers. New styles, colors or textures are introduced. Begin an upward slope. Limited number of people accept them. Fashion leaders wear the styles. Offered at high price and produced in small quantities. The second stage is rise stage. Manufacturers who copy designer cloth will reproduce the style as apparel that cost less by using less expensive fabrics or minimal details. In the initial incline, fashion are accepted by more people because they can afford them. Mass production reduces the price of the fashion and more sales result. Next is the peak stage, top of the hill. Fashion is at its most popular and accepted stage. Mass production, but prices are not necessarily low. Prices vary at this stage. It can survive longer if the fashion becomes a classic. Updating or adding new details of design, color or texture to the look can keep it in the peak stage. The next is the decline stage. Consumer demand in decreasing, going down the slope. Fashion items available have saturated the market. People do not want to pay a high price. Fashion retailers mark down the price of merchandise. And the last is the obsolescence stage. The end of the fashion cycle, the bottom of the hill. Consumers are no longer interested in the fashion and find new looks. Price of the fashion product may be low at this point, but consumers may not buy the product. This you can see the fashion cycle. Introduction stage, this is the bell-shaped graph which easily show at the introduction rise, how it increases at the peak when it is the topmost part of the cycle. It start declining, means going down, and at the obsolescence when there is not at all demand. Now fashion cycle lifespan. All fashion follows the life cycle pattern, but it varies with each fashion. Very difficult for fashion marketers to predict the lifespan. It may be 1 or 2 years, 5 years, depending upon the type of apparel that is going on and the acceptance of that particular style. The length of time is determined by the consumer's willingness to accept the fashion. Fashion movement. Fashion movement, the ongoing motion of fashions moving through the fashion cycle. Economic and social factors influence consumer interest in fashion. New fibers and fabrics. Advertising techniques can cause consumers to change in fashion. So that's all about the fashion.